When I was a child in our house, in our toilet, we used to have torn up newspaper tied together with a bit of string, and if you were unlucky, you got the glossy magazines. Oh, I'll never forget that. And then after that, we got San Hazel toilet roll, shiny bit on one side and a non-slip side on the other side. So it was absolutely wonderful when my father got pals, which is true. That's the only reason we got soft toilet paper, because my father had pals. Oh, I thought we'd gone to heaven. We did. It's true. Yeah, that was nice.
I can see them now. Oh, everybody wanted to go, everybody. But there was queuing like for, I think 2 nights they queued for tickets. Me and my friend just couldn't get in. It was absolutely heaving in the town. You really couldn't move. But it was great, but it's a bus station, so the buses trying to get past thousands of people. You couldn't got a stamp through it. They just came to the window. You just heard John Lennon's voice and that was it. It went deathly quiet for 3 seconds and then all hell erupted, you know. It was just hanging out the window. And there was like just singing and messing about. It was worth standing there just to see them.
And dear old Uncle Joe, he watches his cabbages grow. It was watching the onions grow, something like that.
Good time. Hinsberg and Jane Birkin.
Marian Anderson singing soft lyrics by heart.
Have a Nagila by the Sputniks.
Music of the Night under Lloyd Webber.
Suzanne Leonard Cohen.
Puppy Love, Donny Osmond.
Disco's Revenge, Gustav.
All Shook Up, Elvis Presley.
Lionel Richie, Dancing on the Ceiling.
Russ Conway, Side Saddle.
Chicory Tit, Son of My Father.
Parallel Lines by Blondie.
Dr. Hook, When You're in Love with a Beautiful Woman. Land of Make Believe by Bucks Fizz.
Living Doll, Cliff Richards.
Neil has been claimed to be the first and the inventor of the glacé fruit, which employs the solid drop technology.
Line, all hand packaged. We had a little sing-along, we packed, we went along, and one of us would put a label on, one would put a lid on, then we'd take them all by hand. Yeah, it's quite good fun. One who used to bring me skipping rope every morning before we started work. We used to have skipping in the canteen and that. And we used to have exercises here as well. Monday, Tuesday, happy days. Wednesday, Thursday, happy days. Friday, Saturday, happy days. La la dee, happy days. La 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 dee dee dee. And it's strong. She's been there 25 years. It's Margaret here that's been here for quite a while.
Roll it back, go. The prototype system. Boot with a hole in the heel.
I went down the dock with a friend of mine that had just landed. Sound on the ship called the Cave. Gets in the river and they all says, come on, Snacker. That was a deck and landers name then, Snack. Come on, Snacker, we're going over sandwich now. I went down this little cabin and there was all this, what we call little road slices, about an inch thick of bread and all these corned beef and that. I was stand eating this lovely and gets out of the river and just hits the top of the wind and away she starts going. And I think she submerged at the river and came up at Faroe Islands. So it seemed that way to me. It was a horrible feeling, you know. You didn't care if the ship sunk or whatever. And that went on for about 20 years. I was seasick every time I went to sea. And the elders used to say there's only one cure for seasickness, and that's sit under an apple tree.
The nice thing about Smith & Nephew is everything we do is about healing people. Opsite was developed in 1971. It's a breathable film dressing, so it mimics the skin's process.
I was 30 years old. He lives in Liverpool. I arranged to meet him by the statue of Peter Pan in Sefton Park. It was a very beautiful sunny day, and he was a bit late, I think, and I felt very panicky. Kept feeling very short of breath, and each person I wondered, is that maybe that's him, but none of them quite fit the bill. And then along come this one fella with a particular kind of relaxed gait, and he had a hat on very similar to the one I was wearing that day. He shook my hand, smiled at me, and asked him if it was alright to give him a little hug, and I gave him a little hug. We kind of sat down and rolled cigarettes, and we had the same brand of tobacco, and I suppose we were both just looking and noticing similarities or not about each other. John, this is my father, showed me a couple of magic tricks, and we had a photograph taken by the statue of Peter Pan, and then he went away.
I just happened to be going about my normal business, arrived to see my daughters, and had a heart attack. I died. They brought me back to life in the ambulance. I died again. They brought me back to life again. 12 days later, I came round and I wondered where I was. I was in a hospital bed and I had no recollection whatsoever of ever collapsing or dying. But they said I'd definitely been dead. And it was more like a dream. That was the experience. It was more like a dream. That's all I can really say about it.
Oh,
Oh yes, we were about 10, weren't we? Yes. It wasn't until later on, was it, was it after the war we got talking? I wanted to learn to drive, so that's how we started going out on trips, just to give me driving practice. My grandmother liked to play the piano. My mother couldn't stand it. I liked it, and my grandmother started me off on, you know, just on 5 fingers, simple stuff.